Hello and welcome. Today is Monday, August 9th, 2021, and you're watching Cryptic Creations, where we bring you the not-so-obvious. And today, it's high time we talk about the Big Bang, the sacred cow of modern science. Some of you will already be aware that I have an alternative Big Bang theory that paints a very different picture of the early universe. But instead of talking about my theory directly, and because the Big Bang has been coming under increasing scrutiny in recent years, as we will explore in subsequent videos, I'd like to focus today on just one of the issues I have with the Big Bang, of which the viewer is perhaps not aware, and that is the issue or objection of apparent effects. By way of example, recall the manner in which the geocentric model was pervasive in ancient times. The evidence was in the night sky every night, namely, the heavens appeared to be spinning around the earth, that the earth was motionless, and that it was the center of all creation. To question these apparent truths was madness, and yet, as we know today, those truths were false. Even though things appeared a certain way, it took breakthroughs by Kepler, Galileo, and others to explain that though the evidence appears to show that we're at the center of the universe, that apparent effect can be, and is, explained by something that was less obvious, that results in the same perceived effect by people on the surface of the Earth, and that is the rotation of the Earth and its motion through space. Once the oversight became embarrassingly obvious, a universal shift was made, seemingly away from what had been an adolescent and premature assumption. Then hundreds of years passed, and scientists began to settle into their ways again, until along came new cosmological evidence from looking farther into the sky than had ever been done before with the Hubble Space Telescope, and lo and behold, we found a new apparent effect. And what did we do with it? We immediately formed an interpretation of the Hubble expansion that all of space-time must have emerged from a singularity, because that's what the evidence seems to indicate. And we have stuck with that interpretation ever since, without stopping to ask ourselves if it's possible that the apparent effect of cosmological expansion could be trying to tell us something more subtle, like before. If it's even possible that another model exists that can explain the apparent effect of expansion we observe, then it follows that a Big Bang singularity isn't even a logical necessity of the apparent effect we are detecting. Just let that sink in. We've been told all along that a singularity was the necessary conclusion of extrapolating cosmic expansion back in time, when another valid possibility existed that was yet to be considered, to say nothing of having been ruled out. To summarize, we have briefly developed apparent effects in the history of science to cast doubt on the necessity of interpreting cosmic expansion as being indicative of a Big Bang singularity. If another possibility exists, then being a necessary conclusion is lost until we know for sure. The first step to disproving the Big Bang singularity is to cast doubt upon it, to show that it is not even a necessary conclusion of the evidence available, and I believe that is what we have done today. Granted, we haven't discussed the details of the alternative, except to include the depiction at right, but if you're interested to learn more, you're always welcome to check out my videos available on the subject. As we don't have more time for today, however, we will be getting into it all again soon. In the next episode, we'll talk about relative observers in relation to cosmic expansion and the cosmological principle. That's it for today's episode. Until next time, may you be well. And remember to always be on the lookout for the not so obvious. This is Cryptic Creations, signing off.